Oh, here we go! Welcome, true believers, back to the Nerd Smash Talkcast. I am one of your hosts, L.T. Thornton, and I am joined by my always reliable co-host, Mr. Steve Woods.
What is up on this very special episode, LT?
Yeah, this is a very special episode, and we're going to get into why that is. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about our mission. Our mission on the Talkcast is to bring you the latest in nerd entertainment, whether that involves movies, TV, video games, D&D, science, comic books, anime, whatever. We will cover it because, hey, guess what? Being a nerd is not as limiting as you think it is. Mm-hmm. Now we got that out of the way.
Yes.
Steve, since last episode, how often have we talked to each other?
You texted me today and said, "Are you ready?" And that was about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So that's it, brother.
There was an early debate on whether or not we were going to have a couple of weeks. We were going to take a couple of weeks before we dove into this stuff and, just address it after the new year. But then a little movie.
It has to be done.
Yeah, a little movie came out last Thursday, and, I heard it's doing aight.
It's aight.
It's aight, So, guys, if you haven't already picked up on the vibe, we don't have much to talk about today. This is pretty much going to be devoted entirely to Spider-Man No Way Home. Because I think it's not only worth reviewing, and it's a spoiler review, so you guys may not want to listen to this episode until after you have seen it. But I think there's a lot to discuss of the movie. I think it's very newsworthy, both with what we learned from it and how it is performing. So we're going to dive into all of that. That is the entire subject of today's episode. And then just FYI, after this week's episode, we will be taking a 2-week hiatus and coming back to you guys fresh in the new year.
Sir.
So.
I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay, so he saw it already.
Yeah.
I went and saw this movie on Saturday, and I couldn't talk to him because we had this plan. So that's where we are, nerds.
Yeah. We have seen nothing. The only tease I gave was last week's episode. I said I did not expect it to be my movie of the year. I expected my movie of the year all up until the week before. Last week, it was Miller's versus the Machines.
Yeah.
And then I saw this film. So obviously I'm gushing already, but let's just go ahead and dive into it.
Let's just get at it.
Let's just get.
You don't understand, man. I have been so ready to hear your take on this movie. Literally scene by scene. I want to know.
Yeah, it's there's a lot.
So much. Oh man, I can't.
Yeah. First of all, I just need to preface this. This is how I need to start this episode. I owe every single one of our listeners an apology.
I feel like we should have talked first because we owe every single one of our listeners and Twitter as a whole an apology.
Yeah, the internet as a whole. I did not think what this movie was setting up was actually possible to do in a movie.
Me either. I didn't hear. Okay. I feel like I was hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Bamboozled.
Mm-hmm.
I can't for the life of me think of how I did not see it coming.
I talked myself out of so many leaks. There was
Did you?
many leaks.
I kind of avoided a lot of that, right? The only thing I kind of knew was like, or didn't know, but saw was Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
There is so much more to this movie than that.
Yeah. I do a lot of internet surfing, and I travel through a lot of different nerd spheres, and I casually came across a ton of things that I now, after seeing the movie, realize was 100% legitimate. I saw a full-on spoiler, but I talked myself out of it because I was like, that's not real.
Well, let's get into some of these spoilers. Let's start at the start.
Yeah, let's start.
And then just work our way through
Let's start.
Because there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, it picks up right after Far From Home. And guys, if I haven't said it already, full spoilers from this point forward. So you've been warned. Yeah, starts right after Far From Home. Obviously the identity reveal. There was a cute little scene with J. Jonah Jameson and how he got his start. He's in a dirty apartment, like with all his conspiracy theories. Just
in his blue screen and
yeah, on his Alex Jones stuff.
Yep. Hawking his
supplements. What a shot. Oh my god.
So awesome though. So awesome.
Yeah. No, they understand what J. Jonah Jameson is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got a ton of just a ton of J.K. Simmons in this, and I'm so happy for that. But there's how it's impacting, Peter Parker's life, his family, his friends. But we're maybe 12 minutes in, and it knocks our socks off?
Yeah.
Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, is just there. And the way it was done, you see the blind man's pole. I don't know the official term for it, but
right, the cane or the so crazy.
That was
I thought it might happen.
Yeah.
But they just did it so nonchalantly.
Absolutely.
Without any kind of fanfare or any kind of anything that was happening.
Yeah. Boom,
Charlie Cox in the scene.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you, my original thought and theory is that, this is this universe's Charlie Cox or Matt Murdock Daredevil, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm not so sure because so this is crazy because it could we might get more information with what is coming out tomorrow. And yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We might get more information about how this is exactly working, but this could just as easily
because it's all timing.
Yeah. They could acknowledge that Matt Murdock from the Netflix show is just canon in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me doesn't want that because some really crazy, goofy stuff happened, and you're basically rolling in all of that Defender stuff.
Mm.
But it's also like, my brain, I don't know. Part of me wants it to be different, right? I want new Daredevil stories that aren't necessarily tied to the stuff on Netflix. But I do want, Deborah Ann Woll back as Karen Page. I want, obviously Vincent D'Onofrio and all of the side characters. I want all that stuff to back in, but I want it in a way that is more cohesive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it knocked my socks off, especially that they would do it that early. I thought that would be something that they would maybe throw in the last act as something.
And like I said, they didn't do anything crazy to bring him in. No. He was just in the scene.
And that's what makes me think that maybe his stuff is canon, because there was no special way they set him up. There was no new look. He was
He was exactly the same.
Exactly. And they're not even doing any kind of origin or anything, it seems like, because they knew. And then they did the brick through the window thing, and it was...
Let me tell you, it was so quick. The guy next to me, right?
Yeah.
The lady that he was with was just sitting down again.
Yeah.
And he was like, damn it, I missed it. Because, the audience reacted.
Right.
And he was like, damn it, I missed it. And I was like, somebody threw a brick through the window and he caught it. He's like, oh, man.
Yeah. The Thursday showing was absolutely filled up. And I remember I was just like confused because somebody behind me was like, wait, who's that?
Oh.
I was like, ooh, you got some catching up to do, man.
Yeah, you're here on a Thursday with the wrong information.
Right.
You took somebody's seat for this nonsense.
Yeah. But they dropped it, and then they just moved on. And I was just like, okay. All right, cool.
just casually.
Just casually. That's the things that the MCU is allowed to just do.
Yeah, it was great.
So they spent the time... I loved how they spent the time wallowing in how crappy his situation was now.
Yeah.
Letting us live in it for a little while before jumping into the ask of Doctor Strange in the going to the Sanctum Sanctorum filled with snow, and Wong casually dropping, "Yeah, bro, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme because you were gone for 5 years."
Yeah. He even kind of said, "Well, he's the Sorcerer Supreme." Yeah, that was great, man.
Yeah, really hilarious. There is a running theme, and there's a running meme of Wong now, though, where they're like, hey, there's an Avengers level threat. What are we going to do about this? And Wong says, I don't know, but y'all have a good time, though. He takes his bags and leaves.
He just goes through a portal and dips out. Swayze.
Wouldn't let that happen to me, though.
I don't know what you're going to do, dog.
Right. Sucks to be you. But yeah, he goes to Doctor Strange and he makes the ask, hey, I need you to, use the time stone. And I like how Strange acknowledged, like, bro, I ain't got no time stone anymore. This is... Mm-hmm. But we do have this forget me spell that we use all the time. Like, we use it for birthday parties. We use it for...
Right, even on Wong.
Right. Wong was like, I don't remember you using that. And he's like, exactly. So,
yeah,
really fun dynamic there. But they get into the spell, and obviously Peter screws it up by saying, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And we see reality break for a second, and then Doctor Strange contains it in a decahedron, I think.
Yes.
Which that's a
10.
A D10, yeah.
Yeah.
A D10. I was like, oh, the D&D nerds. Oh man, we are living our best lives right now. Just he's like, did he trap that spell in a D10? Ooh. And we had our MacGuffin for the movie at that point too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So that introduced kind of that piece,
yeah.
Right? That thing that we have to go after, the thing that we have to hold on to,
right?
The thing that everybody else wants.
Yeah, that was fun. And then, we get the whole bridge scene, and Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus just shows up,
confused as hell.
Right, fresh off his death.
Right.
In Spider-Man 2. I love that aspect of it. Like, he was like, now he looked different. They never explained why for that. They just
did. Right.
Also, let's give credit where credit is due. They're getting really good at this. The de-aging technology in this was scary good.
Did an amazing job here.
I didn't even realize until I saw an interview with Alfred Molina after, and I was like, whoa!
Yeah. Yeah.
So tip of the hat, like that. Like I said, that's getting scary good. They're just gonna film old movies with dead actors in a couple years.
Yowza.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I mean, even seeing Alfred Molina in this universe was like, oh my gosh. This was another one of those things for me that it felt like that first Avengers movie. Like, holy crap, they did it.
Yeah, it was
they really did it.
It was the scene we saw in the trailers, but it was just really well done. I love the action in the scene too, like how Peter's trying to save somebody, but Dr. Octopus is putting hands on him, right? Like absolutely like clobbering him.
Like they all did Toby.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of how I felt like. I was like, oh, he ain't never took blows like this before.
Yeah. But I love, in a nice little bit of like 2021 humor, I loved how Peter's device just paired to his arms.
Just automatically.
Just paired. He's like, oh.
Just Wi-Fi'd up.
Oh, no, I got
just
these now.
Bluetoothed him.
Yeah, that was a great resolution to that. And it's at this point, just so I don't forget it later, it's at this point where I need to give a shout out and give a credit to John Watts, the director. Like I said, I have not been a big fan of the first two Spider-Man movies. Not for any like directional reasons. It's more just like, they just didn't feel like the right vibe to me for Spider-Man. But
I would love for you to explain why, because I think we have the same feeling there.
Yeah. I can tell you why. And there's a lot
I feel like it'll pay off towards the end if we talk about it now.
Yeah, for sure. So with the first two Spider-Man movies, I felt like he just had too much resources. I mean, the part of Peter Parker's journey is the struggle and the sacrifices he has to make to balance his life living as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. In the first movie, he's literally like hanging out with a billionaire, getting all his tech, all his supplies. Hey, I need help with this. Iron Man swoops in. No problem, bro. I got you. And you see the little bit of adversity towards the end where it's like, oh, I'm down to my sweatpants suit and I'm trying to stop this like vulture guy who doesn't even really have a beef with me. His beef was with Tony Stark. But to then take that and be like, yeah, I am just gonna be your problem. And then once he figures that out, he's like, oh, I got this, and Tony Stark's like, yep, you're an Avenger now, blah blah blah, and here's your perfect suit and all this stuff. And then Far From Home, it took him so far out of his element. You've got the couple of school age friends, but he's not dealing with the regular adversities and struggles that he normally would. He's abroad in Europe on some fancy school trip, and he's dealing with, again, another villain that has beef with Iron Man, and he's got technology that, he's got these drones, these space drones that were somehow entrusted to a 16 or 17-year-old kid. It just didn't make a lot of sense. And it didn't feel...
he's got the full Stark tech on his face.
Yeah. It just felt too disconnected. Not that I didn't think he wasn't a great Spider-Man. I do think that he had that in him and he had the potential to do it. And I really thought that came through and it shone more in this movie for various reasons. But that's kind of the short end of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've been recapping a lot. What happened after that?
So after we talk to Strange, we do have those villains come through, and we see Green Goblin there as well.
Got a big pop from my theater too when he floated down with that.
Yes. Willem Dafoe, man.
Let me talk about my boy Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, man. What?
Willem Dafoe.
Pardon me.
No, you're fine. Willem Dafoe took his Green Goblin. That was already like pretty dang near excellent.
Yeah.
In the original Spider-Man movie. And he elevated it in this movie to such a degree where you really had to put respect on Norman Osborn Green Goblin's name. Put respect on it. And on top of that, he became, I mean, he had people loathing this man.
Yeah.
By that point later in the movie, and we'll get to all that a little bit later, but it was a masterful performance. He somehow, like, I watched the interview. He came back specifically because he was like, I'm 66 years old, but I'm still going to do my action scenes because that's what's fun. That's what gets me invested in these characters. And you could tell. And Willem Dafoe has got let's just say a unique face, right? And he was
looks
allowed.
Like Green Goblin.
Huh?
He looks like the Green Goblin.
Can I tell you who he looks like? I'm just putting this out there. DC, you guys messed up because you guys had this guy fully available to be your Joker, and now he cannot do that. Willem Dafoe would have been the perfect Joker, especially after this performance. You kidding me?
Yeah.
However, equally a fantastic Green Goblin, and he was able to freaking morph his face to do some of the craziest looks. Bro, he was having fun. He was having fun in some of the most brutal scenes in the movie.
It was so good. Such a good performance. So,
also, I'm not even going to save this for later. He handed out one of the most ridiculously brutal spine busters.
Oh.
I was like, dude! It was like old Arn Anderson showed up with the dude. I was like, yo, a spinebuster through 2 floors? My goodness. But anyway, you're right. You were about to say that they showed up in Strange's basement and they started locking him in.
Yeah, so that's what was cool, right? So this is where we got something really fun. We got a really weird banter that I wasn't expecting between the Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, Ned. Like, it was just so weird and fun.
There was a ton. Oh my gosh, that's so much.
Yeah. Doc Ock, and I was like, wait, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Are we just talking about stuff? So, anyway, Pete has to go get all of these villains with a magical wristlet that Strange made him, and transports all the villains back into holding. And that's kind of where business picks up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They all realize that they are now captive, and Doctor Strange is going to send them back to their respective times and universes, and every one of them has been plucked from their time and universe immediately before their death. So to go back means they will be dead, right? And they're all kind of discussing that, which was so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, and that starts the big chase scene in the movie, right? With Strange trying to get back this MacGuffin from Spider-Man. Because he's just on the run with it, because he doesn't want to kill the villains, and he doesn't want to end it like that for them. He wants to see if he can save them. And Strange says, no way, we've already done too much. They need to go back, they need to live out their fate, and they need to go. So, and they need to go now, basically, before anything else terrible happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. What do you think about that whole sequence?
The whole sequence. First, when Spider-Man had to go, like, retrieve Electro and Sandman, I loved how they acknowledged Sandman not being evil at the end of it. Like, he was like, hey, Peter, what do I do to help? And he's like, go. Yeah. Like, they acknowledged that part in Spider-Man 3 at the end. And Jamie Foxx, we didn't give enough credit to Jamie Foxx. I thought he shined here.
Did we pass over him too quick? Because you might be right about that.
We did. His Max Dillon, first of all, he had some of the best lines in the movie.
Yeah.
It was a night and day improvement over his
This is what it
Max
should have been the
Dillon.
whole time, man.
Yeah.
It should have let him just be Jamie Foxx.
Just let him be Jamie Foxx. That's why we talked about this. I hated that whole overblown nerd aspect with the comb over, and they acknowledged, hey, bro, you look different. Like, how, blah, blah, blah. You know, got your teeth fixed and all this stuff. It's like,
even he was like, yeah, I look a lot better in this universe.
Right, yeah, no. And he's like, oh, I'm digging it. I like how this universe feels. But yeah, let him be himself. And he plays so well off of Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Thomas Hayden Church. You know, he was like, I love the line that he had with Thomas Hayden Church, or Sandman, where he was like, hey man, how'd you get your powers? Oh, I fell into this collider thing. He's like, yeah, I fell into a vat of electric eels. But we gotta stop falling into stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
and
man.
Something else that was cool here, right? So they're in a new universe.
Yeah.
And immediately, Jamie Foxx's Electro says the power feels different here.
Yeah.
Which is almost signaling that there's Infinity Stones, or were Infinity Stones in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
There is arc reactor energy, because he has to feel it all around because so much of the city's already powered by it.
Yeah.
How awesome was that call out?
It was.
So smart, man.
I loved how they used it to give him his power boost later in the movie. And you could tell he's so happy he doesn't have to be in like blue makeup and CGI and all this stuff. He's just like, hey, look, I'm gonna be myself. You know, I've got that. I've played a villain before. I know how to do it. You know, I'm a good actor. Let me do my thing. And he did. He absolutely did. Just fantastic.
It's just so good.
So good. Even the lizard. I was like, why does the lizard look kind of dope here? Like the way they played with the shadows and stuff. I was like, he didn't look this cool in that movie. But his design isn't that different. So what are they doing?
I don't know. Doing it correctly.
Yeah, they're doing it. Oh, I have a lot to say about that. My God.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then, so I believe after that is when Strange is like, yeah, these people are gonna die. We're gonna send them back. They're gonna die.
Yeah.
And Peter makes the choice. He's like, I can't just let these people die. I have to try to help them, which is the correct Spider-Man thing to do. That is very evocative of Peter Parker. And then there's one of the most fun sequences where he decides to beef with Doctor Strange. That is not somebody.
I know, man.
That is not somebody I want to tussle with in any language. All right.
But I guess he wants that action, right? Because he sure goes after it.
Mop, 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 mop. No, he's really just trying to play run and keep away. But like, this dude knows how to use portals. He has access to the mirror dimension. He dropped him in the mirror dimension. I was like, what are we going to do here now? You can't just slide out of the mirror dimension. But it was so clever how they found a way around that. He just used math. He just was like, oh, this is basic geometry. Those are, you know, I'm trying to remember the shape. Archimedes diagrams or something like that. I don't know, math term. And he used angles to like web up Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension and to leave him there. And when he got out later, there was a great callback to his line, to Loki's line from Thor Ragnarok. It's like, I have been dangling for 12 hours. I have been falling for 30 minutes. Oh, one of my favorite lines. Good. It's so good. It's so good. And we get the whole thing where he's trying to help the villains. Obviously, it goes wrong. It causes, I think, one of the... It was kind of a shocker, but I also saw it coming where they killed Aunt May.
Yeah.
But she got off the with great power comes great responsibility
line. Can I tell you? She said the line. Mm-hmm. And I immediately said out loud in a quiet theater, oh no. did not see it coming.
It's a wrap.
And, my wife was like, shh. I'm like, oh, that was out loud.
Right?
That felt internal.
I felt the same way. But
dude,
before
blindsided.
when she got clipped by that Goblin glider, I was like, there's no way she should be getting up from that. First of all, this is a maybe 60-year-old woman, and
she got up like, just not.
Yeah, she's like, woo, brushed that off. I was like, you better be secretly bleeding or something, because there's no way you took that like a spear to the back, and I saw the daggers out. I know there were stabbing purposes and intentions on there. Peter did not defend you. So then she fell over, man. And I was like, here we go.
That was so emotional for me, because for that scene, right, I just realized right then, I was like, oh, we've never even talked about Ben. Yeah. We've never talked about any of that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even exist here. This is the origin story, right?
So that was one of the points I was going to say a little bit later, actually. Somebody told me, or I was listening to somebody's review, and we came to the realization, it was like, oh, all three of these movies were his origin.
Yes, this is it.
Yeah. We didn't get the full, correct Peter Parker experience until after this movie.
Right.
Pop.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, we sold it short.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, the internet even sold it short. Yeah. Because we were more focused on who was going to be in it rather than what this movie meant.
Yeah.
To the MCU and to Spider-Man in the future.
Yeah. And just going back to this scene and some of the scenes that led up to it, I mean, again, the action was fantastic. Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin were throwing hands in that apartment building, bro.
Can we talk about that real quick? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And his fighting in this movie.
Yeah.
It got ramped up a lot.
Right.
I mean, it was a lot. Like, I've never seen him punch anyone like he did in this movie.
Yeah.
Or fight anyone like he did in this movie.
Yeah.
That suplex.
Oh my God. He also hit. Credit to the people that pointed this out, but he also hit the Spider-Man video game move where he jumped in the air and he webbed two things and then he pulled himself down for the kick.
Oh, God.
I was like, whoa!
God.
It's just so cool, man. But yeah, he's trying to get away. Because Aunt May just died. The cops are closing in on him. J. Jonah Jameson's calling him, he's a menace! And he's brooding in the rain. And we're just like left on this really down note, like, man, dang, where do we go from here? Boom, next scene, portal opens up, Andrew Garfield steps through.
Yeah. Ned opens up that's that, man.
I'm a little mad at that because it took Doctor Strange forever in a day to open a single portal. Is Ned the next?
And Ned is doing it on accident,
right?
Oh man!
But Ned, who has Doctor Strange's sling ring because Peter took it from Doctor Strange when he webbed him up in the mirror dimension,
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Again.
Also, just take a second to think about the line I just said. Ned has Doctor Strange's sling ring because Peter Parker webbed up Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension.
So crazy. Oh, I love it.
But Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man steps through this portal. And I have to tell you right here and right now, he was the most likable than he's been in any of his own movies.
When you're right, you're right. Why, man?
They fixed.
Why do I need another Spider-Man movie with him now?
Yes.
He was such a good Pete in this.
After this,
he was. Can I say something that's not popular?
Yes.
I liked him as Peter Parker the best.
Ooh.
Out of all three, I did.
All right. I mean, to each their own. I thought his Peter Parker was an insufferable D-bag, but in this, wait. Were you talking about in this or just in general?
In this.
Oh,
in this. No,
okay,
no,
okay.
no, not in general.
I'm sorry.
In this, I felt like he was the best Pete.
I heard
No,
he was the best Peter Parker. My eyes rolled
honestly, I can't even. I think I've watched both Amazing twice, and they're difficult to watch.
Yeah. He was certainly the most fun Peter Parker when he started because you had that kind of world weary. He had a pathos to him without being kind of the older Peter Parker like Tobey Maguire's was, who obviously came through later. But and Tom, he's very childlike. Andrew feels more within that range of like the Spider-Man that we kind of all know and love, in that mid-range kind of. And you're right. He just shined, man. He just shined. Mm-hmm. This was a performance you could tell he always wanted to give.
Yeah.
And he had a chance to do it. And I appreciate him going out, by the way, and just straight up lying to us. No, I'm not in this movie. Stop asking me. No, stop asking me. No, I'm not in this movie.
Still this week.
Right. They're like, we know. He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I'm not in this thing. I want more people to just straight up lie to us. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Because it paid off.
Don't even play the game like, I don't know. You have to wait and see. He's like, no.
Yeah. No
teases. They never called me. Yeah. They never called me. I don't know.
He's like, boy, I sure would like to be in this movie. I hope Marvel calls me one day. Charlie Cox, too. Charlie Cox is like, I don't know, man. I mean, I hope to be Daredevil again one day, but he's known about this for years.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Man. Yeah.
So, and let me also give flowers to Zendaya and Jacob Batalon and Marissa Tomei, because
they had so much to do and they just held it all down, man.
And their characters were completely underserved in the other movies. I'll just say that too. They had nothing really to do. They had maybe 5 minutes of screen time. They actually meant something in this movie, and it made the gut-wrenching takeaway at the end so much more painful.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, anyway, we're going back to Andrew Garfield. Yeah. So you describe Andrew Garfield stepping through the portal and then
just hanging from the ceiling, getting down cobwebs.
that whole interaction was so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, so Zendaya and Jacob, they, their characters know who Spider-Man is. They know who Peter Parker is.
Right.
And to see somebody else, they were completely skeptical and had him go through a few trials to show that he was really Spider-Man, including hanging from the ceiling and getting spider webs from Ned's grandmother's corner of her ceiling.
Yes. Oh, it was so good.
Such a great back and forth, man. Mm-hmm. Such a great back and forth.
And elevated even further when 5 minutes later, Tobey Maguire steps through a portal.
I know. God. Looking great.
I mean, he looks older.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't have
looks great.
The baby face that he had in his earlier movies. But, man, holy crap. Mm-hmm. What a moment for the theaters. There was an applause break for each one of them. It was just like, yeah! Yes! And again, I've been telling this podcast for weeks. I was like, keep the expectations low. I doubt this happens. Do you understand the insane amount of insaneness that has to happen to justify this thing to be legit?
Yeah.
I was like, do you know all the things this movie has to pull off for the internet to be happy with it? Bro, why is the internet happy with it? The internet not just happy with it. They are in love with it. There are people talking about this movie is better than Endgame, which I would not go that far. But, wow.
Yeah, it delivered on so many levels at this point. At this point where we are right now, with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, all in this universe with all the villains. I mean, that is a huge deliver.
Yeah.
And making it make sense and be fun.
Yes.
And so at this point, this is where all three Petes come together. And
just fun.
Just love.
Just love.
How did you feel about that? How did you feel?
It was a love letter to Spider-Man as a franchise.
Yeah.
Right? It was not just pandering. Pandering is these cameos being 5 minutes at the end of the movie. This was extended scenes with these characters interacting. At one point, they did the literal Spider-Man meme where they're just pointing to each other in a circle. Oh, no, this Peter. No, this Peter. This Peter. Also, I didn't bring this up, but Willem Dafoe, earlier in the movie, I'm something of a scientist myself. I laughed so hard in the movie theater when he said that. And that meme is only like a couple of years old, right? It's not even.
It's not even. No.
It hasn't been around for 10 years like a SpongeBob
They had to have put that in more recently.
Oh. They were like, hey, it'd be cool if you just mentioned the meme. I'm something of a scientist. I loved it. And they referenced as many things as they could. There was multiple times where they came back to the whole bro, we got web shooters. Why do you have organic webs thing? Like,
and they grossed them out.
Are you blocked? What does that stuff come out of you?
Is that the only place?
Right.
Like they genuinely want to know how that works.
Right. No, please keep explaining. No, yeah, we have questions. But yeah, man, let's just get into the third
just to even touch on that though, man. Yeah. Wait a second. Just to even touch on that being such a big difference between the movies, and them pointing it out and not shying away from those differences.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just wild.
Brilliant.
Fully wild to me. I mean, what else can I say? We get into the third act. The three Spider-Men are working together. Doctor Strange comes back. Zendaya and MJ and Ned come back, and they have the whole shenanigans with the portal and trying to close it and all that stuff. There was So first of all, they're curing these villains as they go, right? And there is a scene, and we called this from the trailer, where
we did.
MJ is falling.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland Peter is going to save her. And he gets caught by the Goblin's glider. And Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, you could tell as soon as he noticed and he starts running, audience erupted.
Yes. Mine too. On a Saturday. Packed theater.
Yes.
IMAX.
And he saved her. And the way he sold that moment, can I tell you, bruh, let me this is the accomplishment that this movie, this is where it put it to the point where I was like, oh, this is the movie of the year for me. When your movie is paying off other franchises' bad movies, better than the movies themselves.
I didn't even think about that, man.
You are paying off bad movies better than it's insane to me.
God, when you said it's a love letter to the entire Spider-Man franchise,
yeah,
you're absolutely right. There's so much redemption here of things that weren't done right before.
Yeah. And this movie did not shy away from the bad elements either.
No, it didn't.
Oh, who'd you fight? Oh, I fought an alien goo monster. Oh, I fought a purple alien from outer space with magic rocks. I have a Russian guy in a tank suit. Even acknowledging that deserves, because it's like, bruh, like, come on. We know how bad that is. And now we're openly mocking it. This is insane. It is an impossible movie. Movie.
It's hard to wrap your head around, right?
Yeah. So
Pete is out to kill Green Goblin.
Yes.
That's his main motivation here.
Also, this is where Willem Dafoe truly shined.
Yeah.
So we'll put that out there.
The fight scene with those two?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was one of the best ones that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it had more gravity, right?
It definitely did.
It had a little bit more weight than, because you kind of want it to happen, but you don't want him to go that way.
Yeah.
Because he's out to kill him.
Yeah. And I love that it was Tobey Spider-Man that stepped in.
Again, another piece of redemption.
Paying off. And that was a good movie. And you're paying off the good ones and the bad ones. You're paying off other franchises. What?
Yeah. I mean, and that was one of Tobey Spider-Man's biggest regrets, right?
Yeah.
That even showed that same movie, and then later in Spider-Man 3 that was still haunting him.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that piece of redemption the same way Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man did with MJ versus Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It's so big. Man, they just, I feel like they got us, bro. They did things in this movie that I would have never thought that they could do, and they pulled it off after we were saying they couldn't do even the slightest.
Yeah. And I've heard multiple reviewers say this, and this is why that it's been getting such good scores. This is a giant movie.
Yeah.
With not one or two villains, which is the complaint. Oh, it's too many villains. It's had 5 villains. And you're also discussing the multiverse leaking into your thing. There's a mid-movie battle with Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension. And yet, this feels like such a personal story to Peter Parker.
How?
How? It's literally a magic trick.
It's literally a magic trick.
And this movie is why I now know why John Watts, the director of this movie, is getting to do the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So somebody saw this movie and was like, you know what? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's also like, it's really like, they took the Russos route, right? They were like, oh, this movie's good. Oh, this movie is going to make us $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do a Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah.
We want to keep you in the family.
I'm gonna be ready next time. I'm gonna be ready for another Watts trilogy of some sort. I'm gonna have my feelers out. I'm gonna be watching everything.
Apparently. So
that piece of redemption that Tobey's Spider-Man offers saves Tom's Spider-Man from just a life filled with regret at this point.
Yeah.
He's got his own baggage to carry. He doesn't need Tobey's, so he saved him from that. And then that brings us to Doctor Strange.
Yep. And Doctor Strange, the multiverse. Oh, there was a moment where Green Goblin was fighting the Spider-Man, and he threw a bomb that broke the decahedron and basically broke the multiverse on some real like anarchy chaos. Yeah. He's like, I don't care. Yeah. I slipped the bomb in the thing. So that broke it open, and Doctor Strange is trying to contain the multiverse from leaking in, which there's going to be repercussions for that. We'll get to that. So Spider-Man agrees, hey, Tom Holland Spider-Man agrees, hey, the whole world has to forget who I am. And Doctor Strange agrees, sorry kid, this is the way that it is. He says his goodbyes. Whole world forgets. And literally resets him to being the Peter Parker with the apartment and the where's the rent and the struggles and the everything that he should have been.
A sewn suit
with the color so bright it's like Spider-Man came right off the comic book page.
Yeah, that color blue, along with that red, was literally the classic Spider-Man suit.
And the small eyes, oh my god.
So, this movie has closed out 2 other series.
Well, might have opened one up.
It may have. And effectively rebooted itself.
Yes.
Why did we not see this coming? Can you speak on that for a second? Why didn't we see this coming with May? Mm-hmm. With great power comes great responsibility. Him leaving these things behind. And then we have a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. We didn't see this coming, I think, because we assumed it already happened. I think we assumed that the Uncle Ben stuff, the Great...
Why did we do that?
Because we all knew the story. It didn't have to be told to us.
But we were tricked from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Me too. So this... When I try to rank it, obviously this is a video game windscreen for me.
Me too. I mean, let's just get that out of the way.
I don't know if there's something above that, but I would make it that, and then I would give it that score. I'm having a hard time when I rank these on whether or not I like this better, like if I like this more or less than Into the Spider-Verse. Because I thought Into the Spider-Verse was the most Spider-Man story you could possibly do. And boy, howdy, was I wrong. So, yeah.
Well, for me, this is the best Spider-Man thing that we've ever seen.
I still haven't put my finger... I mean, gosh.
I mean, Into the Spider-Verse is fantastic, right? Yeah. It's fantastic. I don't think it had the weight that this movie does. Mm-hmm. And it didn't do what this movie did.
Yeah.
It did so much, man. You called it yourself. Mm-hmm. It completely rectified stories of 2 other series.
Yep.
And then effectively rebooted itself to be where the Spider-Man needed to be.
Yep. Now...
That's deep.
I have to take some time to talk about the post-credit scenes.
Okay, can we also say about Jamie Foxx calling out Black Spider-Man?
Oh, we know Miles Morales exists in this universe already. We're just waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we'll get through another Peter trilogy and then we'll get to Miles, but we'll see. So yeah, there is 2 post-credit scenes. The first one is Eddie Brock at the end of Let There Be Carnage. And no, I have not seen Let There Be Carnage. I did watch the post-credit scene on YouTube, though, because I was
Can I tell you that I watched it last week?
Did you?
It was the worst.
I'm going
to go ahead and just give it a review right now of Mudbutt. I don't think we've ever given a movie Mudbutt. That movie was bad.
That bad. I knew I knew that I wanted to watch it, but it was only streamable if you paid like $20 for it, and I knew I didn't want to pay $20 for it. So that's unfortunate. But I did watch the post-credit scene, and it explained he just shifted into the universe, and obviously it was because of the whole Doctor Strange spell. Whatever, he's having his back and forth at some tiki bar or something, blah, blah, blah. But the interesting part is he shifts back to his universe, which I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And he leaves a dot of the goo behind. And there is a theory that's floating around. Because if you notice at the end credit scene of Venom Let There Be Carnage, Venom, when he sees Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he immediately goes up and, hey, that's because he's in part of an intergalactic hive mind.
Yep.
That intergalactic hive mind
already knows Pete.
Maybe knows him from different universes. And by leaving a piece of that in the MCU, I think we're going to get a whole nother Venom.
Yeah.
An MCU Venom.
Yeah. Maybe not the next movie.
No.
Maybe not the one after that. But it's coming.
I think they were like, y'all get a Venom, we get a Venom.
Yeah.
And as whatever Tom Hardy does with his thing, that eventual MCU Spider-Man versus Venom fight is going to be mwah. I cannot wait for it. Big time. So that's the first post-credit. Now, the thing that knocked my freaking socks off. The second post-credit scene was a teaser for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
They let so much go.
What do I say?
They let so much go. I mean it.
Mordo with the clean dreadlocks. Wanda.
Yeah, Wanda.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I need your help. I'm in a rough spot. We saw America Chavez a little bit.
The jean jacket.
Jean jacket. We saw Shuma freaking Gorath.
What is happening in this movie?
And to cap it all off, it seems like the villain of the freaking movie is Strange Supreme from What If.
Yeah. Looking dope.
Chills. I have chills thinking about it now. Why was that so good?
Now, what if What If introduced us to the most badass Strange Supreme?
Yes.
And did you see this coming at all?
For some reason, no, I didn't. And I think this also stood out of our head. MCU's like, it's all connected. But we're like, What If's animated? It's over here.
And we kind of left it there, right?
Yeah. You know what's starting to scare me a little bit? Why is Marvel Studios working on this X-Men 97?
I know. let me tell you. So I was talking with, oh my God, you just gave me chills. I was talking with my son.
Yeah.
And we brought that up, right? And this was after they announced it. I'm like, no. They'll use this as a vehicle to introduce. But what if this 97 is just canon from the get-go?
How?
I don't know, man. I don't know. How did they get all three Spider-Men and pull it off in one movie and make me feel like this is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life?
How is this franchise able to surprise us? That's my thing.
Yeah, how is it able to know us?
Oh, it knows us because it knows what we read and what we do.
God.
So there's a few other things I want to say about the performance of this movie. First of all, this movie shattered box office records. I think the analysts were projecting, over 100, 150 maybe, 160. $260.1 million just domestically in a pandemic.
How does it feel knowing that the two top movies of all time are Endgame and then No Way Home?
I was totally
Isn't that crazy?
I was totally fine with it being Endgame and Infinity War. But like, whoa, like this thing swooped in. Do you understand what this movie did? In a pandemic, this is the highest opening gross in December for any movie. It beat every Star Wars movie that released in December.
Yeah. You know what it's made worldwide yet? I know it's like 650 or something like that. I think I saw.
After today, I think it's closer to 650, yeah. But like, the analysts are already saying there's no way this stays under $1 billion. And it hasn't. No. This movie has not come out in China. They don't know if it is going
it is still out. Selling out theaters as of yesterday.
Yes. Selling out in a pandemic where these theaters could not keep, what? I think the highest grossing film before this was like, it was either Black Widow. I think it was Black Widow with 90 million.
Yeah. No.
Or actually, I think it was Venom. Venom Let There Be Carnage. I think that was the highest grossing. Ugh. I think it made 100 maybe. I don't know. Either way, this movie is doing buku business, and there's now a petition online with I think something like 500,000 signatures or something already, requesting Andrew Garfield portray Spider-Man in Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
and there's all this talk online now too of all these people want Amazing Spider-Man 3 when they were bashing Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2. No. That was for good reason. Those were not great.
They weren't. And here's the deal. We've seen what good direction, a good script can do for Andrew Garfield.
Oh my God. He's such a talented actor. He's classically trained. He has a deep love and appreciation for Spider-Man. Yeah. I was not a fan of his first two movies. I have been very clear about that. I would like to see this portrayal of Andrew Garfield go up against Tom Hardy's Venom. I'll even watch him versus Morbius. Sure.
Oh man, oh no.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
This movie did not answer any questions for me about what is happening in Morbius, by the way.
No, it didn't, right?
Not at all.
Well, that was going to be something I wanted to bring up tonight because I don't understand. I don't know what happened here.
I don't know how Michael Keaton's Vulture is there. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. And I can't believe this.
How a paper Daily Bugle?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm already not wanting to see it. So, I don't know. That might be on you. That might be a rental.
Oh, man, you're going to make me go to the theaters to watch Morbius, aren't you? I still got to find my way Venom sometime too. In the next week to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Man.
So we've got that petition going. The performance of this movie is just, I'm so happy for theaters because this is like some much needed revenue.
Yeah.
And it's just heartening to see people wanting to go back to the theaters for something.
So we went to the AMC or the Cinemark at the mall that has the IMAX that you know about,
Yeah.
And they had two concession lines open, and that lobby was packed.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, y'all weren't ready. Y'all were not ready.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was crazy in there.
Yeah. I also finally found the theater experience that I like going to the AMC. They had a dine-in option where you could have the food and drinks sent to you. Most importantly, it was not Prime. So I didn't get 12 Prime commercials before the movie started, and my seat didn't needlessly vibrate, and I actually had a table like a
little flip out.
Yeah, it just kind of swiveled in front of me so I could put like things on top of. It was just nice, and I was like, wow, I actually had a great movie experience again, a flawless movie experience that I have not had in a while. Going back to very early 2020 when I went to go see Star Wars Rise of Skywalker in the theater caught on fire.
Man. I forgot about that, man.
I have been craving
you didn't want to leave.
a decent movie experience for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, holy crap, they did it. They freaking did it.
God. All right. Well, I guess you liked it.
So. I think I did. Yeah. There's so much more I want to talk about with this, but I think we're already at our hour marker. I didn't expect this to go. I thought we maybe would talk about it for a half hour and then, carry on.
There's a lot to do there. There's really a lot to do.
There's a lot to unpack. That will continue to be unpacked from this movie moving forward. We got confirmation of Daredevil in the universe. We got confirmation, of the multiverse and Tobey Maguire.
I still feel like this movie is going to have some more consequence and repercussion as we move forward.
Oh yeah,
there's still going to be things that we find out. I mean, just even knowing that Spider-Man is out there, will his presence in the MCU be lessened?
Yeah,
because it's not Pete. Because Spider-Man still saved the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This is the catalyst, I think, moving forward for how this stuff is gonna go. So,
and it also really helped me understand what the multiverse is and how it works.
Yes, which is going to be super important.
Exactly.
And again, that teaser for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness looks so good. And I'm going to tell you, I really do think I've been hearing from multiple reports in various spheres that I listen to. They're like, you don't even understand who is going to show up in Multiverse of Madness.
Awesome.
Like, nothing's been leaked. And they're like, we're
June? Is that where we're at?
May, I think. But we're in for some really, really good stuff. My theories, I think we're gonna get the big woman.
Yeah?
I think the big woman is coming. And I cannot freaking wait.
I know you can't.
Because if we're just acknowledging what if like that, then let's get the big woman out here.
Yeah. Yes.
Peggy Carter.
Let's get it.
Peggy,
let's do it.
Carter.
Let's do it. Let's get some Peggy. I mean, if we're doing what if.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also, what other franchises can we just rope into this mode?
You said let's get the big woman. I'm ready.
Let's get Eric Bana's Hulk. Go sign up Ben Affleck and get his Daredevil out here.
Oh shit.
Let's go get
I didn't mean to say that. You got the Hadouken notes.
Bruh, a whole separate universe of X-Men just gonna walk in?
Oh. Oh God, there's so much, man.
Is Deadpool just gonna stroll through a portal and help out Doctor Strange?
You need to stop.
I cannot wait for that movie, and it's only a couple of months away. And
it is.
Also, I have to say,
it's like 4.5 months, man.
This is the greatest year of Marvel content that I think we might ever get. This year started out on fire with WandaVision, and it closes out on fire with Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well, we have one more thing.
Oh, yeah, we do. I'm not going to put that high expectations on it.
No, I think that there is an expectation, though. I think we're going to see something.
We could.
I can't. It'll be something. It'll be exciting to see that close out, because keep in mind, this is all about timing.
Is it a coincidence that No Way Home's Spider-Man ends the same time and place?
Nope. It is not. I choose to believe that it is not. We'll see in a few hours.
Few hours for us. By the time you guys listen to this, it might be year today. So
yeah.
Sorry, we're already outdated. Anyway, we're an hour and 10 over. That has been our show for this week.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that, man. I really wanted to hear your insight, what you thought about that.
Yeah,
because, you're my go-to on everything Marvel. And, it sounds like we had the same great time with this movie.
Oh yeah, I just needed your reactions and hot takes too. Hey, you know what I would have loved if he would have called a pigeon. That would have sealed the deal.
Oh damn! I would have walked out.
I would have loved. That would have been my little chef's kiss to Steve. That was for you, bud. I caught this pigeon.
Well, better head out.
Anyway, guys, you can reach out to us on any of our social media pages. We have a Twitter, we have a Facebook. You can also, just like, rate, and subscribe us, whatever you're listening to us through, whatever service you found the show through and you're listening to this. Please give us a like, rate, and subscribe. Give us some comments. Give us some feedback. Steve, where can they find you? Where can they find the show?
Well, you're going to find the NERDSMASH TALKCAST on Twitter at NERDSMASH_TC. And you'll find me on Twitter and Instagram at Steve L. Dub.
That's right. And guys, you can find me on Twitter at LT the Fifth. That's at LTTHAFIFTH. And of course, you can always email the show, nerdsmash.tc@gmail.com. Send us your questions. We will happily talk about them and rate them on the show. Well, not rate your questions, but we'll talk about them on the show.
Yeah, we will. I promise.
I think the last one that was sent in is, why do we assume that vampires are rich? You could have a broke vampire. We discussed that.
We talked about it.
We talked about it at length.
I'm still driving my 97 Honda Civic.
Yeah, right.
What are you talking about?
What, you think getting bit by a vampire came with financial knowledge? Generational wealth?
Oh, man. Last episode of the year, man.
Last episode of the year, guys. We will be back in a couple of weeks. We're taking 2 weeks off for the holidays. So we will get right back at it with more Nerd Smash Talkcast. But for now, that is our show, and we will talk to you guys later. Holla, holla, holla.
Holla.
Holla, 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 holla.
Thanks for a great year, man.
Happy 2021. See you guys in 2022.
Yeah.
Holla.